Folks, there are a lot of authors out there. Millions of authors, or people that think they're an author, okay? There's a lot of musical authors out there who write music-related content. There's still a great number of Beatles-related authors who pen books and come up with ideas for Beatles-related books. Tons of them. If you had every Beatles book in your collection, going way back to when the first Beatles book ever came out, I don't know, the Hunter Davies book or John Lennon's book in his own right, whatever you want to consider the first Beatles book, you would have no room to live in your place of residence. Yeah, you would be so overloaded with the books falling all over the place, and you wouldn't have any room to live, eat, go to the bathroom, or whatever else you like to do, okay? But there may be a ton of Beatle authors out there, but there's only a handful, there's only a few that you can really put in that upper echelon of authors that really come up with great new material. They're so meticulously detailed in their research, in their knowledge, in their ability to put together not only a knowledgeable book, but a book that's fun to read, that's visually appealing, that has great graphics and pictures, along with the fabulous information to read and take into your Beatle brain here, right? And a lot of people would turn to like a Mark Lewison and say, oh, he's got to be the top guy and all that stuff. And Mark's great. I'm sure he's written a lot of wonderful books. I showed them in my top 10 Beatle collection of books before, videos. But there's one author that really has been standing out to me over the last several years, an author who's well-researched, he's knowledgeable, he's fun in his presentation, he's just, the greatest thing, he just seems like a fun Beatle fan. Like he seems like one of us. Like he's one of those guys or gals like we are all out there who are into the Beatles, and he just seems like he came from that. And so he's got that background and he's got that zest for it. Well, I'm talking about Bruce Spizer, folks. Bruce Spizer. Anyone who's ever been a Beatles fan for even a nanosecond should know of Bruce Spizer and the wonderful research and books he's produced, lectures he's given about the Beatles. I've attended a few of those over the years at different festivals and conventions and whatnot. And Bruce has written some of the best Beatles books ever. And I can't show them all now. He's got so many great ones. And I have many of them. Not every one of them, but I have many. I'm working on it. But one of the greatest things I like about Bruce is his research into the earlier period of the Beatles. And now that we're at the 60th anniversary this month, February of 2024, of the Beatles' arrival to America, the release of Meet the Beatles, the Beatles' first U.S. concert at Washington, and they just had a big celebration down in New Jersey for the fest for Beatle fans. And I think it's a good time to look at some of Bruce's material from that period, but also tell you about a brand new book he's got out that I just got, and that's the purpose of this video, is to show it to you. So, folks, I just want to say this, though. He has some wonderful early Beatle books, but boy, they're so well done. Books like this, they're so thick and so, quality, top quality here, folks, like the Beatles on Parlophone. But books like this, when you got them new, they're like 50 or so bucks to get something like this, all about Parlophone. Or you have his books like his 2-volume series. I'm only showing you one of the two. There's one for singles and one for albums. 2-volume series, but they go for like 50 bucks a piece. And they're out of print now, some of these books. So you're going to pay a fortune to get some of these early, this one's so heavy. Some of these early Beatles books like this from Bruce Spizer, all about the early period of the Beatles on Parlophone, everything about their Parlophone days, all about their Capitol Records days. To get these now in great condition, oh boy, my arm hurts. You're going to spend a fortune. They cost a lot. And one of my favorites of all time of Bruce's is very appropriate for right now, appropriate, is this one. The Beatles Are Coming. All about their arrival to America, how it all happened, how it all went down. I've shown this book before. I love it. It's absolutely fantastic. But again, $50 or more, and I believe this one is still in print, but the others may not be. To get all the great information about on Parlophone, about their Capitol Records albums, their Capitol Records singles, their Parlophone singles, what they did on Tolly and Swan, and he's got books about that, and all the different releases came out on VJ Records and all that. You would need, there's like 2 or 3 more books. There's a VJ book, a Swan book. I mean, there's so many great books about that early period of the Beatles when they were first taking over the world. And to get them all, you're talking several $100s nowadays to get them. But what Bruce has been doing lately, he's been doing this album series lately, going back to 2017, with the first one, Sgt. Pepper, when Sgt. Pepper celebrated its 50th anniversary. And he's done Pepper and many of the later period Beatles. But then about a year or so ago, he started getting into the mid to earlier period of the Beatles. He released a wonderful book. I believed I showed it on my channel. It was called Rubber Soul to Revolver. Great, great book. I'm sure someday I'll talk about that book again. But now, folks, Bruce has come out with a brand new book. And if you want a book that takes the best elements of The Beatles Are Coming, about how they took over America, about how they took over Canada when they came to Canada, their story on Parlophone Records, their story on Swan Records, the story on VJ and Capitol, and how it all came together to that big, big crescendo of an arrival of the Beatles to America in 1964, then, folks, you want to get it all concise and for a really great price, get the brand new Bruce Spizer book right here. The Beatles, Please Please Me to With the Beatles. Beautiful, beautiful new book from Mr. Bruce Spizer. There's the back. This is a beautiful slip sleeve, folks. Look at it. Nice slip cover to protect it, and then high gloss color. Look at that beautiful, beautiful book here, folks. This is wonderful because I love having all the big books, Swan, VJ, Capitol, The Beatles Are Coming, Parlophone, I love having all those. They're fun. They're great to have in your collection. But if you want a quick hit, concise, and get all the great stuff from those big, big books, it costs you several $100s now to get this. This has it all, folks. This has it all. The brand new Spizer book talks about the arrival, takeover of Canada, takeover of America, what was going on in the UK and the rest of the world. With the Beatles release, Please Please Me, gets into introducing the Beatles, gets into Meet the Beatles, the first big American Capitol album, gets into the the Canadian album, Beatlemania, which was kind of like With the Beatles. You know what I'm saying? So it's all in here, folks. So laid out, so beautifully. Look at the beauty of this thing. There's the back cover. And folks, so much to learn and read. And Bruce signed it to me. Wasn't that cool what he wrote? Meet the Beatles, Bruce Spizer. Love it, love it, love it. Bruce, thank you so much. Folks, a nice intro. All about the author Bruce, who grew up in the New Orleans area. New Orleans? I think you say New Orleans, right, if you're from New Orleans. All about Bruce, posing with his first Meet the Beatles album. The graphics, the things to learn and read about, what was happening in Britain and Parlophone. I can't show you everything, but look at this stuff. The labels, the single picture sleeves. I mean, folks, I'm going to do my best here to pick out a few good pages, and then plenty to read and learn about. I mean, the pictures are just stunning. You could gaze at this stuff all day. It's so heavy, thick stock. Look at this. I can't even know where to stop. It's so great. Album recreations to show you what covers look like, the different variations of the covers. I mean, oh my goodness, look at this thing. Rare single covers, almost full size, recreated for you. Man, I mean, how do you beat it? The news of the times, what was happening around the times, and the different popular movies that are around the times when the Beatles first came out. The other music, the other top 40 music. Stuff like this. Oh, folks, I'm only like halfway through this thing. I just got it not too long ago, and I'm in love with this book because this has the best of everything of his earlier books, of his bigger books. News of the day, what was happening at the times. I'm just going to show you a couple more if I can find, Frank Ifield. You know, big popular artist at the time. It's just absolutely stunning what you're getting here. The Beatles are coming. There you go. I mean, folks, I wanted to show you this because you can get a couple of different editions of this. You can get the regular edition like this, I'm pretty sure, and Bruce would sign it for you and personalize it if you'd like. But also, I decided to get the super duper, the Uber deluxe edition, where you got the slip case, all right, to go over it. You also got a nice bookmark. Focus in on you for you. All right. And you've got two beautiful posters. And when I tell you these are high quality and suitable for framing, I ain't kidding, baby. Look at this. 2 by 3 foot poster. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That's an awesome gift to get in the deluxe set. And then one more poster with kind of random stuff. This one's 2 feet by 2 feet. And this is cool too because it has a lot of the promo stuff. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Again, 2 big posters with the deluxe box set, the bookmark, the slip box, and this wonderful book, folks. And you know, it's so appropriate, folks, because, you know, like I said, with the Beatles arriving 60 years ago at this time, it's just, this is a book for you. Get this book now. And if you don't have the rubber shoulder revolver one, I highly recommend that one. I'm really loving this earlier period of the Beatles series that Bruce is into now. And I'm hearing the next one is going to be A Hard Day's Night. I cannot wait for that one. Oh, and they got some great fan recollections in this book. He takes a chapter with each of these books, and he has fans talk about what these albums mean to them, what that period of the Beatles' career and what was happening in their personal lives means to them. So I highly recommend reading the fan chapter as well, where the fans give their personal thoughts and praises to the Beatles. It's unbelievable, some of the great stories they tell. But folks, that's it. I just want to tell you, I just got this thing in not too long ago, and I haven't been able to put it down. About halfway through it, I flipped through looking at all the great pictures and graphics. And the Beatles, please me to with the Beatles. Next one's coming, A Hard Day's Night, and I recommend any of Bruce Spizer's books that have come out previous. Folks, that's it. I just want to give you a high Matthew Street recommendation for this book. Get it now. I'll put the link below to Bruce's site. Go check it out and let me know what you think of it. I think you're going to love it. And maybe you already have some of Bruce's books and you can attest to this video that I'm not here blowing smoke up anyone's behind. Okay? I'm being totally truthful. This guy knows what he's doing, and he's a great author and a great Beatles author. Take care, everybody. Love you. Bye-bye.